Hello, my name is Kim Molesky, and for the Strategic Thinking and Innovation BA 340 final project, I have created the Home Sani Mat. The Home Sani Mat is an antibacterial welcome mat, and I came up with this idea because I have 3 children, and we are constantly getting sick from germs from school or from the grocery store or from wherever my children pick up the nasty little germs that they bring home. So I decided to create the Home Sani Mat as a way to cleanse all of our shoes as we come in through our front door. So I have always loved the idea of taking off your shoes at the door and leaving them in the closet or next to the front door, not wearing them throughout the house. But for children, that's not always feasible. Um, or if you have guests that you don't want to ask to remove their shoes, it can sometimes come off rude if you're like asking guests to remove their shoes as they come in your door. And sometimes children just run right in without remembering to remove their shoes. They can bring in dirt, germs. And as you can see, a study done at the University of Arizona examined the germs on shoes and found an average of 421,000 bacteria on the outside of shoes. And these are the bacteria that are coming into your homes if you're not taking off your shoes at the front door. Not only are there bacteria, but there can be viruses, other things that are going to make you sick, or if you're not even concerned about the bacteria and the germs, maybe dirt on your brand new carpet or something to that nature. And once the bacteria is on your shoes, grass and other debris can serve as a food source. So they are able to live days or even weeks off of whatever is on. So for my Home Sani Mat, I had sort of a 3-step production process. The first step being the base, which is just a rubber housing that I picked up from Bed Bath & Beyond, and it is just the base that holds the eventual antibacterial insert. And the one I picked up from Bed Bath & Beyond has prefabricated holes. Theirs is used for other types of mats, like grass mats, that sort of thing, that you put at your front door, and you don't want it filling up with water that's going to turn into a bacteria haven. But for my Sani Mat, I actually want the holes filled so that it will hold my solution. So I picked up some silicone gel from Home Depot, and I just laid wax paper underneath the mat and just filled in each of those holes with the silicone gel, and let it dry. And then I just peeled off the wax paper, and I have a base now that will not allow moisture to seep through. So for the second step of the production process, I needed to create the antibacterial insert to go into that rubber housing. So I stopped at my local craft store and looked for things that I could use to create my prototype. And I came up with the outdoor cushion foam material that you would use to put in to an outdoor cushion. And I cut that to size, as you can see in that first picture. And I picked up some burlap, which I would not use if I was producing this on a mass scale. I just think the burlap wouldn't hold up well. I like the look of it, and it's good for craft projects, that sort of thing. As you can see, it paints well, but I don't think it would hold up under high traffic. So I would probably go with more of an industrial felt type material that would still kind of soak up the antibacterial, but just hold up better under, shoe traffic and weather, that sort of thing. So all I did was just kind of create a pillowcase out of that burlap for the foam, and just used iron-on sticky tape, and just created a pillowcase and slid the foam inside. So for the third step of my production process, I needed a sanitizer of some sort that I could pour onto that insert. And so I've included a couple of things. For my own home, I use for cleaning just a homemade sanitizer, just to avoid using too many chemicals. So I created my own sanitizer with vinegar, water, and a couple drops of Dawn dish soap, and about 5 to 15 drops, however much you want to use, of pure essential oil. I usually use lemon for my cleaning products because it also has antibacterial properties. So you just do half vinegar, half water, add a couple drops of Dawn, and then however many drops of essential oil, and create your own sanitizer. And then you just can pour that directly onto that foam insert that we created in the previous slide. And it just soaks into that foam. And then when you walk across it, it soaks your shoes in the sanitizer. And of course, you can use a different kind of sanitizer if you prefer. There's different types you can make. You can make it with rubbing alcohol, half and half rubbing alcohol, water. You can pick up. I've put one here that's a natural sanitizer called Simple Green. So you can really just use anything that you want. And this mat's going to be outside, so you don't have to worry about the smell. So once I finished my final prototype, it was time to test it. So I went ahead and put it outside the front door, poured the solution onto the insert, and picked my daughter up from the bus stop and had her walk across the mat on her way inside. So it is important to have a mat inside the door because you are soaking your shoes, as you're entering the house. So it's important to have something to catch the excess solution on your shoes. Or if you're just taking your shoes off when you enter the door, I guess it's not necessary. But so that might be an additional product that could accompany the Sani mat. It's just another mat to go inside the door. But it seemed to work well, and she's washing off all those middle school germs while that crazy baby in the window waits for her. And the Sani mat's great for if you have an unexpected guest that shows up. You don't really know them very well, but that you offer that they come inside, and you don't want to have to ask them to remove their shoes. So it cleans their shoes as they enter, and then if anyone else's kids or anything like my kids, they forget because they're starving when they get home from work or from school, and so they go right inside and forget to take off their shoes. So they just bring any germs that they've gotten picked up from school, wherever they've been, and just track them straight through my house. So the Sani mat really helps with containing some of those germs. And I would invest in something like this if I was a parent, especially because kids can carry some really nasty germs. And I'm sure you know if you're a parent. So the home Sani mat is just a great way to keep some of those unwanted germs away.